Hello and welcome to your latest Maths Wizard video. Today we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting proper fractions. So like I said, the main two skills we're going to be looking at is adding together proper fractions, and then we're going to look at subtracting proper fractions. So just a bit of terminology here before we move on. When I'm talking about a proper fraction, I mean any fraction that's less than one whole. So an example would be a half, 3/4, a quarter. So any fraction where the number on the top of the fraction is smaller than the number on the bottom of the fraction. Or if you're thinking of it in terms of percentages, it's any percentage that's less than 100%. Okay, so if we look at our first example here, nice easy one to start with, we've got 2/5 add 1/5. Now, when you've got two fractions like this where your denominator is the same, the bottom number is the same, dead easy. All we've got to do is add together the numbers on the top. So we've just got to do 2 add 1, and that gives us 3/5. So nice and straightforward, and that is always the aim when you are multiplying and when you are adding and subtracting fractions. You've always got to, when you add and subtract, you've got to have the same denominator before you do your addition or subtraction. Okay, so next example here, we've got 3/5 add 3/10. Now, first question to always ask yourself is, if you look at the smaller denominator, ask yourself this: does that smaller denominator go into the larger denominator? If it does, you only need to change one of your fractions. So here, 5 goes into 10 twice. So it means if we just multiply 3 by 2, we'll get an equivalent fraction to 3/5. We've got 6 over 10 here. So now all we've got to do is do 6 add 3, which is 9, and that's 9 over 10. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so our next example here, we've got 2/5 add a third. So this time you're thinking, well, the smaller number doesn't go into 5. So what this means is we've got to change both bottom numbers, both denominators. So we've got to find a common multiple of 3 and 5. And one of the ways you can do that is just to multiply 3 and 5 together. So if you do 3 times 5, you get 15. So we can use that as our denominator. And then you've got to think, well, 5 goes into 15 3 times. So I've got to do that 2 times 3 to get 6. So now we've got 6 over 15, which is the same as 2/5. And then 3 goes into 15 5 times. So we've got to multiply that 1 by 5 as well to get 5 over 15 there for your 1/3. And you might notice that what you can do, whenever you multiply the two bottom numbers together to get your denominator, you can use your diagonals to get your tops. So you can do 2 times 3 there to get 6, and 1 times 5 there to get 5. Now you're at a point where you've got the numerators, the top number's the same. So you've now just got to do 6 add 5, which will give you 11, and the bottom number, the denominator, will stay as 15. Okay, let's look at another example then. So now we've got 2/3 minus a half. Now the process is very similar when you're doing subtractions. You've got to make sure you have the same bottom number, but the only difference is you've got a subtraction for that final step. So we've got here 2 times 3 to get 6. So 6 is a common multiple of 2 and 3. And 3 goes into 6 twice. So you've got to times that by 2. Or you could use your diagonals here and do 2 times 2 to get 4. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So we've got to do that 1 times 3, as you can see with the diagonals there, to get 3 over 6. Now all we need to do is subtract your top numbers instead. So you do 4 take away 3, and that is going to give you 1. So 2/3 minus a half would give you 1/6. Okay, next one then, before I give you some to practice with, we've got 4/5 minus a third. So in this case, 3 times 5 is 15. So that's the common multiple of 3 and 5 we're going to use. Then we've got 4 times 3 there to get 12 for that top number. 1 times 5 for that. Then we can subtract. So 12 take away 5 will give us 7 over 15. Okay, so I've got 5 questions now for you to practice with. So pause your video, have a go at these, try without a calculator, because it's dead easy on a calculator, and then have a look at your answers. Okay, and here are your answers to these. So I'll pay particular attention to that bottom one here. So you will notice here, you end up with 11 over 10. Now, if they do not ask you to write your answer as a mixed number, you can just leave it as 11 over 10. But there might be some examples where they say write your answer as a mixed number. So the way that you would do that is like this. 10 goes into 11 once. So there's your 1. And you have a remainder of 1. So that then goes over the same denominator here. So the denominator will still be the same. The bottom number will still be the same. It's just your remainder will go on the top there for that one. So just be aware. You won't get these on the subtractions with proper numbers ever, but you may get them on the adds. It just basically means that when you add 3/5 and a half together, so 3/5 is 0.6 and then you add 0.5, it just means that you're getting 1.1 there. So you're getting an answer that's more than one whole or more than 100%, which is why you've got an improper fraction there. On all of the others, these are still less than 100% on all of the other answers there. Okay, and that's it for this video. So I will do another video on improper fractions for adding and subtraction. That's a little bit more challenging. So keep a lookout for that. So hit subscribe, and I'll be trying to upload content on all of the GCSE Maths Foundation syllabus. Thanks very much for listening. Bye bye.